Yes. So, but let's go back to the fact that you met up with they introduced you to Bob, and I wonder, did you ever think about going on your own, or what was it about when you guys met up that you thought actually we could work better as a team?
You know what's so crazy? I did go on my own for a minute. So I tried to make it in New Orleans. I tried to make it in Chicago. I did was on my own, and I was with like Gerald was in the mids, man. He was a good friend of mine, and he knew a lot about recording. He the one that taught me how to record. But then for some reason, when I met Bob, um, he was the only one out of all the people that I knew that wasn't scared to be like jump on a plane or jump in the car and be like, "Hey, let's go. Hey, is that where we got to go to make it? Let's go over there." You know what I mean? Because I was really one of the ones who was like, "Hey, man, you know what? If we want to make it, man, we got to go over there. Do you want to go, or you want to stay here and we just find some other jobs?" Bob
Mm.
was the only one be like, "Let's get in the car. Let's get in the airplane. Let's go." So you know what I mean? And then another thing too is that I started playing in church with Bob,
Mm.
and so we got really really close, man. So I mean, man, like when we met, man, seriously, when he met, I asked my dad, I'm like, Dad, can Bob stay in a basement? He was like, I don't know, man. A grown man staying in a basement, man. I'm like, come on, man. I was like, I'll get another job, man, so I can, help pay for his bills. He was like, yeah, all right, let's try it for a month and let's see. You know what I mean? So while he heard what me and Bob was coming up with, he was like, whoa. So he just left us alone, man. He just let Bob stay a month, 2 months, 3 months. Cause Bob was saying that his dad had a gig in New York.
Mm.
So Bob was like, I want to just stay in so we could just, get a catalog. So when we do make it, we got some music to show some people.
So,
You know what I mean? So that's how that happened.
but at that time, who were you guys looking at as role models, as producers?
You know what, man? I'm not trying to say it was all me, man. I'm not trying to do that at all. But it's just that we just had different backgrounds. Okay, so I used to collect albums because my uncle was a DJ in Milwaukee, right? So he
Mm.
used to always send us like what's the latest thing that's gonna come out in another month or two. So I always knew I kept seeing who's Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, man? Who's Gamble and Huff? Who's Elliot Babyface? You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I always had the album. So when I met Bob, I was the one that was telling Bob about these guys, man. And Bob was like, "Who are they? Who are these guys, man?" I'm like, "You know what? They made this Human League, Sherelle, Alexander O'Neal, all that." So he didn't really know these guys, man. Isley
Mm.
Brothers, all that, because he had a different way he came up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he didn't really know who they were. So once I start telling them who they were, I'm like, it's only two dudes that's doing all the stuff, man. You know what I mean? So once that happened, man, we start honing in on our craft. And I don't know, man. We just got good enough, just as good as anybody. So I was like, we need to go ahead and just try it, man. Let's just try and just get out there and see what happens, man. You know what I mean?
But did you know anyone that had made it in the industry that you could see them make it and say, we could just follow that path? Or did it
You know
seem,
what? We don't nobody. We only knew it from maybe some magazines that my sister used to collect. That's all we knew, man.
yeah. And in the
But
Midwest,
where
that's
we come
different.
from, man, nobody made it, man.
Yeah, in the
Matter of
Midwest.
fact, man, we got a key in a street named after us, man.
Wow.
We got a day named after us in Peoria.
Wow.
Yeah, but we was mostly like, we we mostly was like either in Chicago or like in St. Louis because we was trying to make it because those cities was bigger. So we like, all right, at least some people came out of Chicago. At least somebody came out of St. Louis too.
Yeah.
So we was like, all right, if we have to sleep in the car, let's sleep in the car, man. That's how bad I want to make it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
what was the idea about going to Detroit then? What was the hope? Because Motown was no longer there.
you know what it was? It's like I think Bob kind of touched on it a little bit. What happened is Bob got a gig in Detroit, right? And so he called me up one day and he was like, hey man, you know where I'm at? And I'm like, where you at? Now this is when he left, and I thought that we weren't even gonna see each other no more. Cause he started doing other endeavors and stuff like that. Start playing for his dad's church and all this stuff. So I was like, that's it, I'm gonna be back on my own. You know what I mean? So I kind of had that mindset. But Bob hit me up, he was like, hey man, I'm in Detroit and I showed these two people that's trying to start a production company. I showed them some of my songs and I showed them some of your songs that you got, man. And they was like, you know what? We can really help them out. So Bob told me, and I was like, you know me, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, tell them to give me a ticket. I'll be there, man. So they got a ticket, man, that night, man. It's crazy, man. Like, I think that night I got a ticket. During the day, I talked to Bob, and then I got a ticket that night.
Wow.
I jumped on a plane, I left my keyboards, everything. Only thing I took was my drum machine. And I broke out. I was gone. Had one thing of clothes, maybe one or two change of clothes, man, you know what I mean? And then my drum machine, man. I just broke out. Met Bob at the airport. Bob picked me up at the airport. You know what I mean? And then we went from there. It's crazy. Well, I think about it, man. Like, I'm like, man, what was we thinking about? But that's how bad we want to make it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we knew that we was as good as anybody. We just needed a shot.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a crew pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for me, but just for me,
No, okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas' Boyz II Men and all spirits.
Play it.